Something really cool that Rano and I learned this week amongst this beautiful paradise that we got to spend time with three other incredible couples was the 1, 2, 3 desire share method.
One of the challenges that Sierra and I have been having is that in our 15 years together, I would be like, hey, let's do this crazy thing, like sexually or in the bedroom or something. That may or may not be crazy to you, just depending on your level of whatever. But for her, it was like, ooh, she's more of a sensual energetic. So if I bring up anything sexual, it's kind of a turnoff for her. And we've been navigating that, just like every relationship. You've got different blueprints to how you operate. And it's been a challenge for us because over time I've been like, hey, let's try this, baby. And she's like, ugh, please, no, thank you. And so over time I've just been like, I guess I just won't share. But not sharing doesn't stop the desires from happening. They're just bouncing around my brain, making more and more challenge, making it harder for us to connect. And then what happens typically in the past?
Well, then you start feeling like your desires can't be met in this relationship, and you start thinking outside, where can you go to have those desires met?
Yep. And fortunately for us, I'm not that kind of guy that just wanders. And so I bring it to her and say, hey, I'm having all these different thoughts and I'm trying to get my needs met here. And it's challenging. And what we found over time is that she actually does want to meet my needs, but because she speaks a different language than I do, it's tough for her to understand what I'm meaning when I'm just like, hey, do that thing that's really hot. And she's like, ugh. But when she finally understands what I really mean by it and all the nuances around what it means and everything else, she's like, oh, that's what you want? I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been saying. She's like, oh, I understand it now. I'm totally down to give you that. And a lot of times that's what happens in most relationships. So should we give them the tool?
Yeah. So this is how we learned to navigate this week with these other amazing couples.
Yes.
It's called the 1, 2, 3 desire technique, I think, or that's what we're calling it.
Now it's that.
It's that, the 1, 2, 3 desire. And the first step is for either one of us, but mostly for him at this point, acknowledge that you have a desire.
So instead of
yourself.
So instead of just boom, 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 oh my God, should I say it? Shouldn't I say it? Shouldn't I say it? Okay, I just say to myself, oh, all that stuff that's going on in my head, this thing that's happening, that's a desire. Oh, I have a desire. I have a desire. Step one.
Woo,
just
desire.
Acknowledging it to myself. Yeah. That makes it, oh, okay, that's what all that noise is in my head.
Step 2 is speaking that desire to me and having that be celebrated. We don't have to do anything with it. It's just an opportunity for him to take it one step further, or any of you, take it one step further and share it. And then from there, negotiations can begin.
Yeah, but for you, again, number 2 is like, make sure you set up a proper container, proper context, proper thing. Hey babe, I want to share this desire with you. It's a little bit of a fantasy. Nothing has to be done with it. I just want to share it so it's not in my brain anymore. And can we create a safe space to do that? Can we celebrate it? Even if you're like, ooh, I don't want to do that. Can be like, oh my God, I'm so excited you shared that. Let's talk. So that's step 2. And then 3, as you started to get into, was, okay, when can that desire be met? Or can that desire be met?
Is that possible for that desire to be met? Are there modifications around meeting that desire? Is there something even better than that desire? Because now you're sharing and you're jamming and you're connecting and you're exploring and you're deepening.
Yeah, so it could sound something like, I'm really tired tonight, but I love what you're asking for. So let's set up a time to just play in that desire alone. Okay, cool, that works. Or, that's a big stretch for me. I'm not entirely sure how to meet that, but let's jam on it and see if we can come up with something that's similar to that and maybe do something like this or like that. What do you think? Yeah, anything you'd add?
Just as somebody that has been nervous about what he might share and what he might want, how this process that we practiced helped was it gave me more of an understanding of the fullness of what is going on for him, and then the opportunity to stretch myself, but through a safe and supportive navigation process. Like that step number 2, not having to do anything with it other than to discuss and toss it around. And we like to use the word, have a sketch. What does this sketch look like? What does that sketch look like? Was really supportive to my nervous system and helped me really understand the depth of also what he was wanting, why he was wanting it. And as you said at the beginning of this video, the language I was like, oh, that's what you meant, or that's what that means, because we weren't just noodling in our heads or disconnected around it. We found a way in to connect.
Yeah, and because maybe a past boyfriend or a past lover that you or she had, anybody had, it meant a certain thing when I said erotic, or we said, some word, and she might think it means something, I might think it means something different. So really being able to connect on it and have that opportunity to be with each other on it, it was amazing. We had amazing connection and amazing intimacy with each other because I wasn't noodling around with this thing trying to get my needs met. I could just say, hey, I need this, and this is why I want this. This is why I want to do it. This is what it's up for me. This is why I'm really exploring this. Can we do that together? And she was like, fuck yeah. Versus, I don't know, because we had that little process. So try it out. Don't let it sit on the shelf. Your relationship's only going to get better if you make it better.
Yep.
So,
and if you're not growing together, you are growing apart. So take this tool, hopefully stay connected here, subscribe to our channel, and tune in for more amazing relationship tips and tricks.
Yeah, because we're living it, not just talking about it.
Hey, mama.